Hey everybody, I'm Scott Brearley from coach from Forward Walking Choices Coaching. This is Lisa Brearley, my beautiful wife. Together, we're going to share our lives with you and hope to inspire you to grow and have better relationships in your life. You might know me. I wrote My Perfect Storm. It's a book about me growing up and the trauma and tribulations and trials I went through and the learning how to grow and change. That's My Perfect Storm. My wife Lisa has written a couple books, and between the two of us, we come from different area backgrounds. Like I come from a little bit of the hood side of the background, and Lisa is a little bit of the square side of the background. We make a great pair, and we have an amazing relationship. And I'd like to ask Lisa, what is her favorite memory from her childhood, and how did it shape you?
Okay, so you got to share your books. First of all, welcome to our very first podcast on our YouTube site called At the Brearleys. And as Scott said, my name is Lisa Brearley. And yes, I've written two books. First one was A Year of Love, and the second one was called 6 Months of Love. And we are coming to you right now from Thailand, which we're super excited to share this experience together. And yeah, we're gonna start our first couple of podcasts getting to communicate or to discuss a little bit more about us so you can learn a little bit more about us and maybe see how we operate together and what that looks like. And yeah, this is our first time doing this, so be patient. We'll have to be patient with each other.
Yeah, and
So,
we are patient with each other. That's the one thing I love about our relationship is we allow each other to be human.
and we were in an interview actually a little while ago with someone who said, you need to be on the same screen because the magic between the both of you is like electric or whatever. So that's why we're on the same screen for this podcast. And instead of in separate spaces, because I think in many ways we even communicate better when we can see each other.
Absolutely.
All right, what's your first question?
So I would like to ask you, what is your favorite memory of a child and how did it shape you?
My favorite memory growing up, I would have to say, is the fact that my mom was my kindergarten teacher. And so she set me off kind of on I'll call it the right foot, the right path of understanding that, understanding that um, learning, not just school necessarily, but learning is something that's really important and always looking for positive in yourself and in other people. I think that's my favorite memory. And of course, when I graduated from grade 12, I applied to take my university degree to be a teacher and have had my degree since 1995. So I love teaching.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah. All right. So what would you say a memory from your childhood that you remember that has shaped you?
Well, being that I come from a different background, it's like I remember by the time I'm going to say 9 or 10, I knew I was going to be a drunk. I watched all the adults around me drink and smoke, and it's like to be a man, you had to work hard, you had to drink lots, drink everybody under the table. And you know what? That shaped my first 21 years of my life, and it didn't go very well for me. And that's kind of why I'm sitting in front of you today, sharing my story. And it took me a long time to actually get to a point where I had something to offer to people. And today I believe I got a pretty good message to share with people. I've dealt with a lot of different traumas in my life. And, you know, this year I just got diagnosed with ADHD, and I've probably had ADHD my whole life. And I believe it's why I medicated myself most of my life.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So understanding all of those the environment that you were in, the past traumas that you had, physical accidents, emotional, all that sort of stuff. Um, how do you look at those past experiences today and how they shaped you?
Well, I'll go back a little bit. For a long time, I used to live in shame about it and beat myself up because I was no good. And, however, though, after digging deep and getting some help from people and some coaching and trauma therapy and learning about ADHD and taking some supplements and stuff, I wouldn't be the man I am sitting in front of you today if I hadn't experienced any of that stuff. And that's pretty much why I want to share it, because I have felt the depths of loneliness. I have felt the depths of wanting to die. In fact, I've tried a few times and I carried a lot of shame about that for years. And I don't need to carry shame about it today. Like, we live in a different world today from when I grew up, and some of it's better and some of it's a little insane, in my opinion. And it doesn't matter what it is, it's just my opinion. And so yeah, I believe everybody's got their full potential and tap into it. I know I'm just starting to scratch the surface to tap into my full potential. I don't know where any of this is going. I don't know if it's going to work. However, I know we're not going to stop trying. And actually, I don't even like using that word, because trying means garbage. It's like we're going to continue our path to finding out where we're supposed to be. And this is the only way you do it, is by getting up and doing it.
Yeah, that whole understanding that I learned in the last couple of years, doing things that are uncomfortable so you can experience them, so you can grow, so you do more experiencing. You just have more cool things come into your life. So yeah, that's been a big awareness for me.
I'm actually going to drop a big one. Where me, Lisa, and I met was at the self-development class, and I was still pretty angry. And what she seen in me, I'm still not sure, other than I believe because she liked the honesty that I had in the way I shared. However, there was this exercise, and this guy asked me what some of my hopes, dreams, and goals were. And I had woken up that morning realizing I had ripped myself off for not writing better hopes, dreams, and goals. And I wrote down I wanted a partner. And I said to him, I want a partner in my life. And the gentleman goes, what are you going to say to her when you wake up in the morning? I said, I'll roll over and said, hey, babe, I love you. And he's like, why don't you one up it? And being the guy that I am, I'm thinking, how can you one up that? And he goes, why don't you roll over and say, hey, babe, how can I love you today? Because it's funny. We all have our illusions of how we think we should love people. However, do we ever ask the people that we're with or your friends that, how can I love you today? Or how can I be your friend? Like, how would you like me to show up? And this lack of communication between people causes a lot of conflict and a lot of misunderstanding, because there's times where in my previous life it would be like, go to work and make money, go to work and make money, and never ask my previous partners at how I can love them today, rather than just doing what I think I should do. So
And you kind of alluded to what did I see in you when I first met you? And yeah, I was coming out of a 26-year marriage and was coming to an understanding of what was not working in that relationship and in my life. And so this is kind of all looking back 2020 vision, but stepping out and doing something for me and my growth and my self-worth, which I did begin that with food, started with that like a couple of years before doing personal development work. But coming to an understanding, first of all, what I didn't want in my life, and realizing that the opposite is what I wanted, having more open conversations, being heard and respected when we share and converse. And I think one of the big things that I think many women, maybe including myself too, don't realize, and I wrote about that in my first book, A Year of Love, is that when I first met you, it was an extreme sense of safety, and that's in many different ways, but it's emotional safety. And so when I met you and you exhibited or showed that vulnerability and sharing your feelings came so easy to you, I was like, that created a sense of safety that I can do that as well. So yeah, it's I still ponder as to how is it we kind of ended up at the same place, because when you read in our books, you'll understand we were not supposed to be at that place at
No.
that time because of all COVID. So all that sort of changing of schedules and stuff. So, but let's get to our relationship maybe. I was looking at some of our questions that we've kind of prepared a few questions. So let's see. How do you understand that taking care of you helps us?
Well, like I said earlier, I thought taking care of me was getting up early and going to work and making money and bringing it home and fixing the house. And you know what? And that's part of it. I have to say, it's really part of it. However, though, I have diabetes. I have a smidge of prostate cancer, and I've dealt with the big aftermath. It's the aftermath of cancer. And by taking care of me and my mental health, I don't have to do the squirrel dive down into I'm doomed and I can't do anything. And I don't take medication for my diabetes. That way I'm putting healthy food into my body to keep my counts low. I exercise. And here's the other thing. How can you be present with your wife when you're drinking or you're drugging? Or maybe I'll go partner. Maybe I'll change it to partner. Or even I'll skip the drugging and alcohol. If you're sitting on the couch eating bags of chips and junk food, your brain is a little bit off. It's a proven fact. All that sugar and all that toxins in our body. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a perfect eater, but I really work hard at keeping my counts down and the exercise. However, it's the thing we need to start, because with this thing up here, this is our computer. Without it functioning properly, we don't function properly. Our whole thinking is blurred. It's funny, I just went through something in my life that's a reoccurring theme, and I believe that we get stuff put in our lives till we figure out the theme. And then once we can figure out the theme, we can grow past it. Not saying it won't creep in a little bit, but so this theme that comes into my life is that I'm not accepted by people. And the cool part is this time, instead of it lasting a week or 2 days, it was only a few hours. And I was able to wake up in the morning, had a bad night's sleep thinking about it, and go for my walk and talk with my friend and get some clarity about it. And it's about emotional recovery. Because where I grew up, I didn't have a lot of emotional. It was like smash it. Pardon my language. You might catch a little bit of that with me. I'm not politically correct, and I work really hard at not ruffling feathers, but however, I ruffle feathers, and I'll apologize ahead of time because I will probably ruffle feathers with this podcast that I do. However, it's not meant to do that. It's more meant to make people aware of how people are. Because I'm one of those people that I've been judged a lot in my lifetime, and I've had a lot of gossip about myself in the 12-step programs. And however, I'm still here. And a lot of those people aren't here anymore. So
yeah, so understanding that that yes, making the choices so you can be healthier allows you to show up better, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's not my job to fix my wife.
No.
It's to show up and be present and allow her to go through what she needs to go through. I shouldn't say allow. but just be present to watch her go through what she needs to do. And if she wants to talk about it, she talks about it. If she wants to go for a walk, she can go for a walk. If she wants to go to Maui for a week, go. If she wants to go to the women's retreat, go. Why do we put energy in to keeping our partners suppressed? Why don't we relish the fact that they want to do something with their lives and change? And that's what Lisa brings to my life.
The thumbs up is going up. Yeah, that is one thing that I think I've come to an understanding over the last year-ish, that it's kind of one of my superpowers, I think, is that I come to a space with people that I provide a space for them to be heard. I'm not there to solve their problem. And if they want my input, that I'm more than welcome to give my input, but I am not there to respond necessarily. I'm there to listen. And I've kind of tweaked a few people when I said, there's a reason why your two ears do not close and your mouth does. Right? So it's like, you know, I think one of the times when I remember this the best, and about being honest and not thinking we are pressured to have an answer, was when Scott and I went to, and I don't remember the name of the place, and you had heard that your accounts were back up. And I had never been in that situation before. And I was like, what do I do? And I literally just said to you, I don't know what to say or what to do. So I'm just going to be here. Like, that's all I can do. Just be here. And when you want to talk, I'm ready to listen.
You know, and it's funny, that day that I found out that my cancer was back, I was angry. I was bitter. Lisa was going to retrain for scuba diving. And I went for a ride on a scooter, and I don't even really like scooters. I like motorcycles. Scooters are, anyways, never mind. So I went for a ride on my scooter, and I'm just enraged, and I'm riding a little erratic, and I've fought absolutely everything in my life that I need to fight. And it dawned on me, I don't need to fight this. All I need to do is show up. And a lot of people think surrender is about failure, but for me, surrender is about success. Because if I can surrender to something and take the power away from it, I win. And there's probably stuff you don't want to surrender to. However, this particular thing, it's surrender to it. And it's just like, just recently I found my accounts went up again, and life's okay. It's like, it is what it is. And if I get all bent out of shape about it, they're probably going to go up higher. But if I can continue doing good to the world and help people out like I am with my coaching, I believe it's all going to be okay. So, yeah.
Perfect. I don't know what our time is, because we are very aware of our time, and we do want to have only a 20 to 30-minute podcast, knowing that that's maybe the attention span of everyone.
So,
no, go ahead.
I want to wish everybody, it's New Year's Eve here in Thailand, or New Year's Day. And we're not going to post this for a few days, but we want to wish everybody a very happy New Year. And you know what? Dig deep. This life's about growth and change. It's not about the grind and going to work. And yes, we need to do that. However, it's about the people in your life and how much we can cherish them and share with them our lives. Because if we can build everybody up in our lives, what would this world look like instead of gossiping and beating people up, and not physically, just mentally? And like, think of how you treat the people at work. Think of how you treat the person behind the Starbucks counter. Are we treating them with dignity and respect? And it's not about money. It's just how we're treating them. You don't need to give them a tip. You don't need to do anything. And I'm just talking about the way you talk to them.
Yeah, totally. And understanding that when you meet somebody who seems frustrated or fearful or uncertain, it's to maybe come to a place of curiosity, and that's all. And that way that they feel like they want to they want to share, they want to be heard. Yeah, because that's really what it kind of comes down to. We're not there to solve anything for anyone. I think the fear in our world today is insane. And when I know for myself, when I understood that, excuse me, when I understood that when I can come to a place of gratitude, that the fear of anything and everything in life gets that much smaller, and I can enjoy my time here. That is really quite short. So before we let you go from our podcast, we want to remind you that you can come and visit us at forwardwalkingchoices.com. And we are more than excited to book a chat with you, have a chat, see if our coaching program is for you. And, come see all the info and information, I guess, we have on our site, and our books and stuff are also on sale on our website. But more as well, you can find our books at Amazon or on Amazon, or we also have a couple of other links that I will add to this video where you can find our books. And we're excited to post this every Saturday.
Thank you very much.